that's stellar. And if we can continue a trend of that, then we could project future budgets with that amount of state inmates. But right now, we don't have the history on where we've had that many inmates. And quite frankly, had I known what I know now, then I would have never voted for that budget to have been crafted that way. But this is a learning, this is a journey that we're learning along the way. And as we have set up here and done line item transfers, we're like, something's not right. And that's when Ms. Coldarn had found, well, here's the problem. The budget was projecting X amount of revenue based on close to 300 state inmates. We don't even house 300 state inmates. What were we thinking?
We can't house 300 state inmates. I correct myself, the 227 was from last May
There you go.
to this May. That's what it was on our historical. The other was
Like the
from
past 4 years.
past 4 years.
And that was about 265, right?
It was, yeah, anywhere 254 to 260, 260, right in that range. But the thing about that is that if you do ranges on that, you can't, it's hard to do a range, but you can't go below it.
Ever.
Ever.
Where the budget's broke
That's what
again.
really hurts us, is if we go below it.
Well, the problem is, I mean, you guys' job is to protect the funds of the citizens. And I understand what your role is here to make sure that the entities that within the county do not over exceed that budget. However, our role is the safety and security of that facility. If we're budgeted 1.1 million and we know mathematically that we can only employ 33 or 35 people within that budget, we're gonna have to make changes. Because he will not go over budget. I mean, he's told me, flick me in the back of the head, I'm not going over budget.
We already have this year.
Payroll budget.
Well, but you're missing the whole point of the matter, that the budget was never crafted correctly to begin with. It was unrealistic.
We based a payroll budget based on a revenue
That we've never even met. We've never even met in the history of this county.
That was the one thing that was off to begin with.
Yeah, I didn't miss that point. I'm quite
But
aware of that
You're
point.
planning to spend money that you don't have. That's what we're saying. And so then this year we want to say, hey, let's budget what we realistically think we can generate.
All right, who's got a calculator? Anybody?
Several phones with calculators.
All right, so let's do 10 inmates at 31, 34 days at 365 days.
10 inmates?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that how many state inmates you put?
That's how many county.
Well, I just want to know how many 10 to do. So where are we at there? 10 inmates, 31, 34, 365.
14,391. Yeah.
What is it?
114,391.
114,000 for 10. We're 236,000 short. A few meetings ago, you guys said that you were comfortable with 265. With that being said,
And we asked you folks if you were comfortable with keeping 265. And you said yes.
and we said yes, and you all said that seemed to be a good, fair number. The 265, which last meeting we went back and forth on this because I come up with something, I presented it to you, Jacqueline, sent it to you in an email with the 265, a way we could make that work. The jailer wasn't happy with it. We come back with 275, 274
You
is
knew
what
that
he,
one wasn't realistic either.
the 265 is really, I think, a realistic number. That's another 130,000 that we can put into the payroll budget, and
So what you're asking for is negotiating if the budget can be built based upon 265 versus 255.
that's my question to you at this point.
This is where I go back to, we're at 270 with the 10 county contracts and our county inmates. That makes us 270, and if we still go with the DOC, which, as I say, is 20, that takes us to 250.
least 5 more.
Has that even happened yet though, Sean?
I just keep hearing it's going to.
Yeah.
But we gotta base it on the facts right now. The
Oh,
facts
I
right
know,
now
but
is
we can't
that-
base it on the fact today, and then come October, they do it, and then we're really in trouble.
But-
And then also continue to keep in mind that this is a projection. Again, if you end up calling and telling them you want all 80 of those state inmates tomorrow,
Well, I can't take all 80 of them
I'm
tomorrow.
just
You
saying-
can't. No, you're at
But
351
you
right
still
now.
are able, you will still have that money allocated to your budget. I mean, it can't be spent anywhere else. And according to, as Ms. Coldarn and you folks role play, the current scenario of the 77% of your salary line item, there would not need to be, personnel cuts based off of, the projected revenue for next year. It's just that there won't be, like additional staffing or, you know, large raises or anything as far as that's concerned. It would still keep you whole as of today. They're just, as far as I'm aware, from what I could tell, based off of current projections to date, or current spend to date, in addition to this budget having the personnel, overtime of 50,000, there would not need to be any changes based off of current administration as it is today.
Jason, in behalf of everybody, we're gonna cut this off. We've been on this subject a long time now. If you wanna come discuss with me and Scott, or with me, if you, Chris, you're welcome to come in and see me. But we've all got it together, we think it's the right number. We're not trying to do anything evil or anything wrong, we think that's a good number. And if sure, if Jader wants to come see me, he's sure welcome to. But we need to move on. Well, Patrick, you got more questions? Well, Ms. Floyd,
I wanted to go back, just real quick on the pharmaceutical on the jail, I just wanna get warm and fuzzy on that. Inmate medication, 54. Cause we're still at that 98. Do we feel comfortable that we can hold that?